Well, welcome back to Iron Railroad. Today we're going to be making a DIY, something for you to make in a very inexpensive way, but the result may look like $1,000,000 with very little dollars used. What we're going to be making is a load for gondolas and for flat cars. It could be American Fly S gauge or it could be for Lionel, for example, O gauge, and it won't cost you a whole bunch of dollars. It's easy to make. It takes maybe a half hour, 45 minutes on tops, do some measurements, and I will give you the tools and the necessary materials to make this particular load. And you could divest from there and think of something else. But anyways, this is just sampling of what we're going to do today. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show you what I've done, and you can make the same thing. Again, something that looks like $1,000,000, but very little dollars used. You don't have to go buy a load to make this. If you did buy it, it may cost you $1,000,000, figuratively speaking. So stay tuned. Here we go. Okay, this is just sampling of what I'm going to be making. I already started making the load for an O-gauge Lionel gondola. Very inexpensive, one of those you could pick up at some train show for pennies on a dollar, and you repaint it and basically make a load. On the right, you have an American Fly S gauge. It's an empty gondola, and we're going to fill that up today. I also have another O gauge Flatcar, which I will show you. But first, what do we need to make this? You don't need to spend a lot of money. For under $20, you could probably make several cars. So here we are. Here are some of the basic materials you will need to make this particular load. What I'm going to be making is actually copper tubing, which will resemble piping. And this is not the plastic tubings or the pipes that you would find in a commercially made accessory. Lionel, American Flyer, or any other brands would have similar simulated piping, but it's all made out of plastic. Well, using copper, which is a metal, is more realistic. And this is what I use to make the entire load. First, you need a straight edge with the measurements on it, because you have to measure out the length of the piping. And this particular piping is a copper piping. It's a 1/2 inch in diameter. And this will be cut down to length to fit the gondolas and to the flat cars. In order to cut that, you need to have a plumber's tube cutter. And this is it. A small one is all you need, because this is only a 1/2 inch. You're not cutting a 1 inch or 2 inch pipe. So this is only a 1/2 inch or smaller, and this will be sufficient. Also, for the flat car, I use some wood sticks to use as braces to keep the piping from rolling. I mean, it will simulate actually a stop for the pipe on the flat cars. And of course, you have the gondola and the gondola. This is the O-gauge Lionel gondola. I repainted it a forest green. This is American Flyer, which has the original color, and I'll probably just keep that for my S gauge as is. You need probably just a little bit of glue, and I'll explain to you why we need some glue as we move along. Just to have a little blurb on the costs. The mini wood sticks, you could probably pick this up in any of the box stores like Walmart or Good Sense or home stuff. Hobby. They're like $3 or $4 for 1,000 sticks. This will last you a lifetime. It's cheap, inexpensive. The copper tubing comes in 3-foot lengths, and I bought 1 or 2 of these, and either at one of the hardware stores, Home Depot, Lowe's. I'm not advertising any particular brand name stores, but that's where I got mine, and they're about $7 for 3 feet. And I bought 2 of these, and I can make probably several cars out of these 2 lengths. I didn't have one of these, but if you're a plumber, you probably have this already. Or if you've done plumbing work, this is the tube cutter. I didn't have one this size, so I bought it also at the hardware store, and this cost me less than $9. So not too bad, considering if you buy a load, let's say an O gauge, pre-made load, it may cost you like $30, $40, $50. With the price of trains today, it's not cheap. So this way, you have a very inexpensively made load for your car and the car, and it's relatively inexpensive, and it will look like $1 million. So stay tuned. I'm going to continue. I did measure this out to fit this particular gondola. It's 6.5 inches. I also left a little space at the end where I'm going to put some styrofoam cushion in there. And I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. That's my marking for the 6.5 inch. You take your pipe cutter. It's simple. The cutting is the edges right here on the left here. The red knob will open or close the width of for the diameter. So what I have to do is find a marking. If you can see this, the edge of the blade goes right up against the red mark that I have there. Again, let me see if I will show you the blade. The blade is right here. That's the blade. It's a circular blade. So I'm going to put the blade right up against that red mark and begin to tighten. You turn the red knob clockwise until it's snug. It's snug, and then you just have to twist the pipe to begin the cut. And as you turn it, it'll get loose, and you tighten it a little more. Tighten it a little more. Keep turning it. You feel cutting into the pipe. Turn a little more. You can see the groove is beginning to cut here. Here's the groove. It's not difficult. Just a little patience. That's it. A clean cut. Who would have thought when you got to model railroading, especially if you do it yourself, you know about electronics, electricity, You know about carpentry when you build your layout. You know about paints because you probably custom painting, and sceneries. But whoever thought that you have to be somewhat of a mini plumber to be able to cut pipes? But anyways, just a side thought. So that'll fit right in there. And we can repeat this for the others. Now, just to demonstrate again, in case you're still not sure of this, that's the mark for this, my 6.5 inch pipe. So again, I'm going to put the blade right up against the black mark. And I will use this extra piece here, and I'll show you why. Nothing goes to waste. Turn the red knob clockwise until it's snug, tight and snug. Begin turning. You turn the pipe counterclockwise. The red knob you turn clockwise. I turn the pipe counterclockwise, which is easy for me. You can probably do it the other way, but I think this is good for me. Clockwise on the red knob, counterclockwise on the pipe. You're probably looking at my gondola and say, what, the pipe is so short, it's not touching the ends. Well, no need to. And I'll explain why I did it that way. There we go. This is the other piece. Okay, we're not done with this yet, but I want to show you my Flatcar. This is the S gauge American Flyer Gondola, and it's a nice fit. Now, and you say, well, it's kind of loose. Well, we're going to make a third pipe later, and I will have cushions at the end here. I will show you how I've done that. So now let's go to the Flatcar. It's a Lionel Flatcar. I already started the project on this one, and I'm going to finish it off. This is the piece that I just cut off, and I have a pre-cut piece here. And if you will notice, those mini wood sticks. This is what I use to stop, help to keep these pipes in place. I did use a little bit of glue. You could use hot glue, or what I've actually used, what I had on hand was the clear silicone bathtub sealers. The reason why I didn't use, say, crazy glue or any of the other permanent glues is because at some point in time, maybe I want to remove all this and use this Flatcar for something else. These will come off very easily without destroying the car. So if you use hot glue, that will work the same way, or some of the silicone, it could be easily removed without, again, damaging the car itself or all the pipes. So this is what it's going to look like. Not bad, huh? I bet you can't buy this commercially. And if it is available commercially, you probably pay like $50 or $79 for this load like this, or more. But this probably just costs you a few dollars. And I'll tell you what the cost of the pipe is. The pipe itself is $7, but you can make several cars out of that. And I'm sure you will have great satisfaction on yourself when you finish making it and say, gee, I can make this. I did repaint this car. You know, it was this turquoise color, and I said, yeah, I have some forest green paint on it, and I did spray this very lightly. Again, I won't go into details of painting that. That's I'll save for another episode. So, but again, just a little tip here: when we spray paint these cars, make sure it's clean. Wash it with a little bit of Dawn or Ivory soap. Rinse it well, let it dry, and then very light coats of paint. One pass over, let it dry, and then a second pass over, let it dry. And if it's still not too deep enough in terms of color, give it a third spray, but lightly. Do not give it a heavy coat because you have runs and it's going to look thick and it's not going to look, you cover up all the little features, the platform features. It's going to be like just one flat platform and won't look good. So anyways, that's just a quick tip. I'll spare you the lengthy details on completing the American Flyer Gondola. I mentioned cushions. Well, this is what I use. This is a completed oak gauge Lionel gondola. Again, a very inexpensive one. I bought at some show. It was one of those dumpster dive gondolas under the table. I got it for, like $1, maybe $1.50. But, it was very dirty and, it was ugly. Again, I repainted it, and I did the Great Northern theme on this one, which I have the diesels for that. This is the oak gauge. You do the same thing with the American Flyer, whatever road name you want to use. But anyways, this is what I've done here. Three pipes. And at the end, I have these dark color styrofoam, like sponges, but it also keeps it from rattling. Quite good. You could put a little cushion under the on the bed too, a very thin cushion under there. So there you have it. You can make a very inexpensive rolling stock with a very inexpensive load that would look like $1 million, again, with very, very little dollars used. And you will be proud of yourself. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps you a little bit. You can use your imagination. Again, the hobby of model trains is just not running your trains. It's about making stuff. Use your imagination. And thank you for watching. And if you like, please subscribe and give me a like on my site. Keep them trains running.